expand your mind or level up, okay? Hey y'all, how you doing? It's your girl Agar with an A, and I'm here with movie time again, as always. The past couple weeks have been really rough, but it does delight my soul to be able to talk to you all about movies, dissect these films and TV shows so that we can better understand our world, better understand what's going on, to self-reflect and to make impact and change. And we do have another one for y'all. It's a bit of a throwback. I do these shows on Thursdays, so why not, right? Today we are talking about 2019 Oscar for Best Picture, Parasite. Yep, that is right. We're talking Parasite. I love to hit any genre, every genre, talk about a lot of different things to keep a diverse repertoire of films that I watch. This is kind of like a mixture one. It's a throwback, but it's also a viewer's choice. It's also I was curious, and so I wanted to know. It's also international film. For the sake of this one, we'll say this is an international throwback. For those of you who don't know, Parasite is about a family, a poor family who is struggling in the poor side of Korea, and they are experiencing these troubling times and trying to find jobs that'll sustain them. And they kind of come off as like this con artist family that infiltrates this rich family's life and just shakes things up, turns things around. But some things get revealed here and there. On the surface, you're thinking stinger, but as you go along, as you watch it, you're thinking more psych thriller, which is super cool. This is a film strictly in Korean. So for all of y'all who feel like, I can't watch a movie that has subtitles because I can't focus, I understand. Expand your mind or level up, okay? So this story does hit heavily on the class system in Korea and how there's almost like two extremes. This is gonna be a little bit of a spoiler because, well, if you haven't seen it, it's been over a year. So I would say the beginning was a little bit predictable. The girl gets a new tutor, she likes boys, so yeah, she's definitely gonna, want to be with him. Kevin, the tutor, is bringing his whole family in on it. And then all of a sudden it's a whole con scheme. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I wasn't expecting this at all. It's very comical from the beginning. This gullible rich family who doesn't know how to manage. They have all this help to sustain their perfect, so to speak, life. And they're so desperate for perfection that they don't even realize what's really going on, what's really happening. In this Korean city, there are two extremes. There are the extra rich who can afford to buy the house, who can afford to buy the help, who can afford to buy the city, the country, who can afford to have bunkers, who can afford safety and security, so to speak. And then you have the poor side of the country where they can't afford to be connected to the internet. You see each side of the situation. And so in some ways it was for me like, oh, why are they tricking that poor rich family? And then I had to think back and I was like, wait a minute. But they're poor rich men. No, in some ways they do want you to be like, well, don't, you can't be conning these people, But they switch it up on you just so that you're clear by the end, what is really going on, what's really happening. So there are three family entities in this film. You have the Parks, the rich family. You have the Lees, who are the working class sort of family. And then you have the Keys, who is the poor family, who is, so to speak, conning this family. For people to live not that far from each other, to be so disproportionately advantaged. Like the rich people, not only do you have just the plain old house that's in good condition, multiple cars, with a driver, with a cook, with a housekeeper, with a nanny, with a tutor, you can afford all these resources, you can afford all of this glamorous living, to the point they have slippers specifically for walking around in the house. I thought those were ugly. I don't know. I was like, come on, get your own slippers. And then you have this poor family who can't even afford Wi-Fi, who lives in a basement. They live in the dump. Drunk people come and pee there. The odds are so off. I mean, even to the point that the rich family lives on a hill and the poor family lives in the basement. Everything about this just screams inequality. All the families in this film are desperate for something. Take, for instance, the Parks, the rich family. They're desperate for perfection, for everything to seemingly look good, to up the performance in a way that their children are so successful. Like the husband is very successful as a IT man. He's into like video games and stuff. And then you have the wife who she can't cook, she can't clean, but hey, she takes credit for all the cleanliness, the tidiness of the house. Then you have the daughter who, you know, she's learning English, which for most countries, that's a sign of intelligence, is that you learn other languages so that you be able to do business, trade, and all that stuff. And then you have the youngest son who's an artist, so to speak, who is also very fascinated with American culture. And you have the Key family. This is Kevin's family. Working for these people in this house gives them money, but it also sets them up for, you know, stability that they desire, stability that will keep them together, which is a bit challenged in some of these situations, because you've seen how they eat in the beginning, you've seen how they live in their home. It's just not a great place to live. It doesn't really seem much livable. And then when the Parks go on a camping trip, the Key family comes in and they are making a mess in the house. So it's like trying to bring your junk to someone else's house, and it doesn't make the house, you know, it does not fit. Their family is living in a basement that is crumbling at the seams. Stability for them is something that they have like longed for and desired, and they're willing to do anything to get it, like conning a rich family. And then you have the Lee family, who uses this family as a form of security, safety, so to speak. They all desire the life that this house provides. It's so powerful, and I'm telling you, y'all, it's deep, it's heavy, and it makes us feel so much closer. You know, I'm American, I live in America, and I suffer these injustices, and there are so many disadvantaged people in this country, and it's so interesting to see how that manifests in other countries. Ultimately, the critique is treat people with respect. At first, the poor family is conning, so to speak, the rich family. The Keys are conning the Parks at first. But then you kind of realize that the Parks are also running a scheme here. They are willing to step on any toes. They're willing to pay any money. They're willing to force anybody to work for any amount of time in order to maintain that perfection. The flood the night before the Parks' youngest son's birthday party was the thing that hit me the hardest. For one family, their worry is their son won't come inside because it's raining. And for another family, they are trying to bail out all the water in their house from a flood. That was really when my mind shifted gears. It was like, wait a minute. It's like, at first, this is funny. Then the Parks family starts to show their true colors. And the final note is that ultimately, each of these families are running from poverty. And I can understand poverty is not somewhere that anybody wants to live or stay. And to that point, the Parks just seem faster than the Lee and the Key family. They seem to move faster just because, you know, of whatever circumstances allowed them to be up higher. And their message here is just to treat people with respect. Do not treat people as objects, as like an accessory in your home. Treat people as one of the many messages that they convey here. I love this film. This is amazing. Definitely go check it out if you have not seen it already. And if you have seen it, definitely drop in the chat, drop in the comments how you felt about the film, what stuff that you picked out, the stuff that you liked, the stuff that you didn't like. Let's have open conversation. If you are living in Korea, I would love to have the conversation with you about what's going on. What injustices are you experiencing? That's all I have. That's it for me. And I love that y'all came to see me again this week. It's your girl, A Garvin with an A. You can follow me at AYEGARVIN. And at Garvin Girls Entertainment at GARVINGRLSENT. Hey, God, just give me a theme song. I'll see y'all later. Bye.